Hello, we are the geeks and the generates. And as you've seen the thumbnail and the title, we were talking about the Sandman. With me, as always, is Jomar. And yeah, this is Neil Gaiman's graphic novel that's been celebrated worldwide and finally gets an adaptation, and people have been waiting for one. I think beforehand, it was supposed to be a movie starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt, but the creator and Joseph Gordon-Levitt himself said we didn't like how the studio kept interfering because they thought the Sandman was more horror based since it dealt with dreams and stuff, and they're like they dropped the project. This was like mid 2015.
I feel like Joseph Gordon-Levitt would have done a really good Dream,
Yeah,
but like, what was the name of this new guy? Tom something something.
yeah.
This
His name
actor.
escapes me, but yeah, he did a good
Yeah.
job.
Oh wait, hold up. Give me a second. Tom Sturridge.
Hmm.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I found Tom. Dude did an amazing job. Sure, he's not one for one looking like the Sandman, where his hair's supposed to be wild and everywhere, and he's supposed to wear like a bathrobe all the
Yeah,
time. No, it's a little bit more tamed, a little bit more realistic, a little bit more tangible to relate to.
yeah, yeah. And then it became an Audible series with James McAvoy as Dream, Kat Dennings as Death, Andy Serkis as the Raven, and I think Riz Ahmed as the Corinthian.
Hey, okay, you know what? I'm gonna look that up. I know I have the Sandman book,
Hmm.
but you know me with books, so I'll listen to that one since James McAvoy. I would love to hear him as
Yeah.
Dream.
But yeah, before we get into the plot, any thoughts on the trailer? Do you like it? What do you think?
Uh, when I saw it was Warner Bros, I was like, oh no, oh god, is this gonna be another CW bullshit?
Really now?
Thank God I was wrong. Thank God my doubts were wrong.
What gave you that
Because
vibe?
no, because it was like, oh, CW, and then I saw the trailer and I was like, this looks like way better budget than CW ever had.
Hmm.
So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll give it a chance. And my brother and my mom, sister as well, they sing high heavens of this novel, Sandman. It's amazing. Neil Gaiman's a god of a writer. I'm like, okay, I'll give it a try. I read the Graveyard book. That one was pretty good. It had the same feeling as this story,
Yeah, yeah.
but other than that, yeah, like that's all I had as information is that it's pretty good. I heard from my family.
Yeah. Like I've heard nothing but praises around like social media and Comic Cons, and like I heard this was unadaptable, but like Watchmen was considered unadaptable until Zack Snyder came along and made that a movie. So I'm like, let's see what happens. And right from like minute one, I was already hooked. I'm like, God damn, I'm missing out so much. So that I'll post a picture that I ordered the complete volume one of it. Like, yep.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, like Enzo immediately sent me a photo of his order.
Yeah,
Don't put that up because
yeah,
people might get your information.
yeah. I'll put up the book itself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like he shows me like, oh, I ordered a book like a few days ago. I was like, you do you, man. I already got the book.
Yeah. But yeah, we start out where Dream is the ruler of his kingdom. He's the ruler of dreams. As stated in his title, he is the Sandman. He is Morpheus, Dream of the Endless. And he's going out into the world because he has to punish a nightmare that has gone rogue and started killing people. And his name is the Corinthian.
But like coincidentally, as he gets to the human world, there were these Satan worshippers or this cult-esque
Yeah.
wizard people summoning one of the gods,
Yeah.
or yeah, one of the endless.
Yeah.
What do you call them? Yeah. Well, they were trying to get Death, but they got Dream instead, and we get Tywin Lannister as this crazy old wizard guy who's
Yeah.
like, "Hey, are you Death?" Of course, Dream doesn't answer.
Yeah.
The whole 100 years does not
Yeah.
answer.
He gets his answers from the Corinthians, like, hey, that is Dream of the Endless. He is Morpheus, but that's not the guy you're looking for. And,
Yeah.
But Roderick Burgess, that's the guy's name, was like,
Yeah.
tell you what, if you can convince that to give me back my son, who died in World War One, I'll let you go. No answer. And like you can tell that the son is a bit softer, not as stern or harsh as his father, because he tries to he shows more compassion, tries to be more human, but ultimately his dad tests him because his dad is an asshole. It's like, oh, if you really, I feel like you want to let him go. It's like, no, I'll do anything to make you happy, but he has to prove it by shooting Morpheus's bird, and he does. And poor Morpheus, that's his friend that just got killed in front of him, so he stays silent for 100 years, even after the fact that Roderick Burgess was killed accidentally by his son.
Yeah, the whole time it was just straight up abuse.
Yeah.
Tywin Lannister here isn't really the best dad. Man clearly had his favorites.
Yeah.
And to him, the son that was left that did not die in World War One is pretty much a disappointment, even though he hasn't shown that he was a disappointment.
Yeah.
So, and it turns out as well that his son's also gay. So, for sure, that wasn't really a pleasing thing to that kind of time period. Yeah.
And like you find out that because of Dream's absence, a lot of people get this disease that they sleep forever, which brilliantly ties back around once we get to like the third to the last episode. You're like, oh shit. But before we get to that, the son's like, I want to let you go. Just give me the answers I seek. And aren't you tired of this already? And even Morpheus is like, should I have forgiven him and given him answers? Probably, but it is what it is.
Yeah, you gotta love how God's just like, it is what it is.
Yeah, but
I do like Morpheus' character here, Dream.
Yeah.
He has rules. He has to abide by those rules. He can't just give Robert Burgess
yeah.
what he wants.
Yeah.
Roderick Burgess, sorry, my bad. You can't just give him what he wants because there are rules. If he breaks those rules, it can break the world. I like it that these things like death, desire, dream, destiny, these are gods amongst men, probably even stronger than gods.
Yeah.
But there are rules. They cannot pass those rules, and it makes this god character relatable, and I love it.
Yeah. And like, unknowingly, the boyfriend or the son accidentally breaks the circle that was containing Morpheus' powers, so he's able to make the guards dream and make his escape. And for punishment, he gives the son endless sleep. You will sleep forever. You will never wake up. Which is, is it a fate worse than that? I wouldn't know. It depends on what kind of person you are and what you leave behind.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I feel like it was a little unjust, but at the same time, I guess the Raven was his friend.
Yeah. Also, like, oh, you were just a bystander and you did nothing. I guess.
Yeah, that I would say bystanders probably are worse than the instigator.
Yeah.
You know.
So we set up on the quest where Dream, at first, for the first arc at least, he has to find his items, his ruby, the bag of sand, and his helm. And he consults the fates. One question, one answer, and he seemed like, oh, where's my sand? It's with Joanna Constantine. Where's Joanna? One answer. One question, one answer.
He keeps forgetting. Yeah, he was like, oh, where's my mask? Oh, it's in hell. Where in hell? I was like,
man, we just fucking said.
Remember, one answer. And where's my jewel? It's like it's in New Jersey or something, or New York.
Yeah, it's with Ethel and her son.
Yeah. Oh, where's Ethel?
Yeah. But yeah, we first go to London to meet Joanna Constantine, and like, I'm not sure if she's a character in the comics, but I do like her.
I was very confused because I do remember seeing comic book art and some pages of John Constantine with Sandman.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if this is just a gender bent John Constantine.
Yeah.
Or is this an actual character? Please let us know. We have not gone that far in the books.
Yeah.
we are kind of new to Sandman.
Yeah, to be fair, she does bring up the vibe of Constantine.
She does.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I was like, I know Constantine is supposed to be a guy, but this is very John Constantine.
Yeah.
And I like it that she drives a Cosworth.
Yeah.
Very nice car.
Jenna Coleman does such an excellent role as Constantine that you're like, even if I were a fanboy of the guy version, I like her.
I like this one. I was like, no, seriously, if if she had a deeper voice, she's pretty much just John Constantine.
Yeah, yeah. I like how Morpheus is like, I need my sand so everybody can dream pop for the end. John is just like, well, I haven't had decent sleep in ages, so I don't mind not dreaming for a bit.
Yeah.
Uh,
But I do like it that when they first ran into each other, it was like, oh, we have business to attend to.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, fall in line, buddy. And she just passes him.
yeah.
And it was like, wow,
Perform
you
Exorcist.
you're not gonna do anything?
No, she doesn't give a damn. It's like, do you have a better fee? No? Alright. See you later, buddy.
Yeah. But yeah, she was performing an exorcism. This does feel like a Constantine episode.
Yeah, yeah.
Where she pretends to be a priest or priestess and tries to wed these two who are clearly possessed by a demon that she's trying to get to. And poor dude just gets ripped apart.
She's like, oh well, say your name, demon. And then we find out that the bag of sand that Morpheus is looking for is in the house of her ex. And then we find out that she just upped and left her ex without saying anything. You're like, oh, that was that bad of a breakup. All right.
Yeah. And this is probably kind of like a very this is where you get this tone of the movie. We get that it's gory, we get it, it's dark.
Yeah.
But my god, it does feel, how would I say, depressing. Sure, let's go with it.
Yeah.
Where she goes into the room, she meets her ex, they kind of make up, and she snaps out of it. The entire time they were kissing, making it up to each other, and her apologizing was all a dream.
Yeah.
And when she sees that her ex is actually bedridden, she stayed like that for God knows how long, and holding on to the sand.
That's keeping her alive.
That was just keeping her alive, and she looks horrible.
Yeah, and Morpheus is pretty much a cool bastard because like, all right, thanks for my sand. I'm gonna go. She's like,
Yeah.
Excuse me. You're going.
And she called. Yeah. Joanna Constantine calls him out for his shit, and like, really, you're gonna leave my girlfriend like this after I've helped you? Well, I do like it that this is Morpheus' character. He is building up. He is cold because he has seen the horrible side of man.
Yeah.
Or humans. And here he's like, alright, fine.
Yeah.
Out of the decency of my heart, I'll give her a swift death. And her, wistfully die.
Yeah.
And it's the end. Patton Oswalt as the Raven.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't expect him. Like, there are a couple of people I didn't expect. Like, oh shit, like, I didn't expect David Dulis to be the grown up son. I'm like, holy shit. That's the guy from Harry Potter. I didn't know he was here. But, like, it's her death and her situation that's pretty grim and depressing. Kind of like, it's also sad as when Morpheus has to kill the dragon to get to the fates from.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that, where they had from Cain and Abel, and then he had to like kill it was a gargoyle, I think.
Yeah. And then the whole time I'm like, is that legit the Cain and Abel? Then Abel's like, bye, Mr. Morpheus, and Cain's just like, you fucking suck up, and stabs him. Like, I guess that is the Cain and Abel of the Bible.
Yeah, but that's their thing, is that Cain kills Abel. Abel comes back.
Yeah.
When Cain gets mad, he kills Abel again.
Yeah, and it was just hunky dory. I'm like, that's interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's kind of used to it. I kind of forgot that Cain and Abel were the first ever murderer and murder victim.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
Really? 11 years in the Bible school and you forgot?
Man, I haven't opened the Bible in how many years?
Anyway, moving on. And then Dream has to get his helm from Hell, and I like the depiction of Hell. Like, no, you're punished. You bring your own damn flame. Like, fuck. It is Hell, but damn.
I like that what Patton Oswalt said. Sorry, Matthew the Raven. He was like, yeah, I believed in hell, but I didn't know it was gonna be this cold.
Right.
I was like, good point.
And then we keep coming back and forth to Ethel, who was the former lover of Roderick, and she's going to her son who's in a psychiatric ward because he killed people defending an amulet, a jewel, a ruby. And she comes to him because the Corinthian told her, hey, Morpheus is back and he wants his things. And she's like, where is the ruby? He's like, I don't know.
You know what I like?
Yeah.
Dream is on this journey to collect his tool.
Yeah.
The sand, the helm, the ruby. We don't know what they do.
Right?
They never tell us what they do, or specifically how they do it. And I like that. Again, these are gods that we're not supposed to understand, or we're unable to comprehend what their abilities can do.
But this show makes it so digestible. You're like, damn.
Yeah. And makes you like, you know what? I don't need it. All I know is that he has to get it, and whatever he can do with it, he knows how to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And John's mom has like this amulet or ruby too that like protects her from harm, but that's not what she's looking. So she confesses the entire story to her son, apologizes, and gives the amulet to him, and he takes over. He kills a couple of guards. Not, would I say purposely? But like.
No. He does give him a choice. Like, don't shoot. You're only gonna hurt yourself.
Yeah.
They shoot. They die.
And
Technically, it's on them.
Yeah.
Technically. But of course, they were annoyed.
And then he gets a ride from Rosemary, and like he tells, at first she's like, seems like a sweet guy, what's so bad? And then he reveals like, oh, I'm getting something that I killed people over. It was self-defense. She's like, oh, you're a murderer? What have I got myself
Dude, I felt so bad for Rosemary because this is probably the nicest person in New York.
Yeah.
And she was like, I'll give you a ride to wherever you need to go. And she was like, oh.
I was so worried for the Rottweiler too. I'm like, please don't crush his head.
Please don't. Yeah, please don't kill the dog.
Yeah.
Don't do anything. Dog, don't attack him.
Yeah. And like,
God's sake. But yeah, of course, it was an intense moment. Like, to you, somebody like John D.
Yeah.
D's nuts. Sorry. Doesn't look like somebody who could hurt anybody.
Yeah.
Or like, if you could pit them against each other, he doesn't look like a threat.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, why is this scene so intense where she's just driving him where he needs to go, but he's just like openly, blatantly saying that I am a murderer.
Yeah, and he's just spewing his life philosophy where it's like, I wish we lived in a world with no lies, that everyone was truthful. Life would be better that way. The world would be better that way. And she tries to get help from a convenience store and a gas station, but John figures it out, and he tells the cashier, because the cashier's like, you're not leaving. He's like, I am. Don't pull the trigger. And then you don't see it, but you hear, like, oh, I guess.
So you just see a splat on the window. Like,
yeah. And then off they go to his ruby, but back in hell, they find out that one of the demons has it. And that's when we meet Lucifer, who's played by Gwendolyn Christie. She's like, we have a ton of demons. Do you want to go one by one, or how do you want to do this? And Morpheus just uses a sand to summon the particular demon. Give me my helm. No. I challenge you to a battle. My champion. Who's your champion? Morpheus is like, I choose myself. And then Lucifer, the demon chooses Lucifer for the battle. And honestly, at this point, I was like, you know what? I will order that book now. Because, dude, it's such an interesting fight. It's not like Morpheus and Lucifer go fisticuffs. No wonder Neil Gaiman didn't trust a ton of movie studios with his property. It's like, oh, this has to be right.
Right. Because you know that Neil Gaiman will have not gotten what he wanted.
Yeah.
The studio, for sure, they would have been like, oh, they'll be using magic and killing each other, Harry Potter style. No, this was otherworldly. They would describe what they are, and one has to one up the other.
Yeah, and they feel it too. Like you see the
Yeah.
claw marks and poison. Like I forgot. I think it was who was the snake? Lucifer uses the
Uh,
snake, and then
yeah.
Morpheus just feels the venom. And then he uses a horse to kill the snake, and then she.
I forgot.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's again they're just one up each other with what they got. Like if Enzo goes, "Oh, I got an AK. Oh, I got a nuke."
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, and it affects them.
I'm a world full of life, and then Lucifer just goes, "I am a nova, planet cremated," and you see Morpheus is like, "Fuck."
Right.
I am a universe expanding, all giving, and Lucifer just goes, "I am the anti-life." Like, yeah, how do you beat that?
The odd thing about this battle, though, why can't you just go straight up to the top?
I guess that's the way it is.
I guess it's just by rule. Like you gotta be clever about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lucifer wins by saying, "I am hope,"
Yeah, because
and nothing apparently beats hope.
Yeah, this match is like, can't die, dreams don't fucking die, and he's like, I am hope, and like, I forgot what Lucifer says, or like, I'm glad you have your helm back or something like that. But what place do dreams have in hell? And he's like, well, I know you dream about heaven, and she's like, oh, okay.
Son of a bitch. Yeah. No, but I love this. I love it that Dream was kind of like, hey, was kind of complimenting Hell.
Yeah.
Or like, sorry, Lucifer. Like you were an honorable fighter in this duel that we had, and he's like, don't insult me.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck you.
We're coming for you, your kingdom next, Morpheus. But they leave, and then we cut to John, who gets the ruby. Well, he gets to the ruby first, but he's like, wait, it's a fake. And then he gets blown up. And then John gets to it, and you're like, is this the part where he slaughters Rosemary and the dog? He's like, no, you're nice. I have no reason to kill you. I'm going to give you my amulet, so no one can ever hurt you. You don't have to lie again.
It gives the character of, John D's nuts depth. I'm sorry, you can't just... You just... Anyway, it does give him depth, because he does give her... Since he has the amulet, he doesn't need the amulet of protection.
Yeah.
So he gives it to Rosemary, because she was kind, she was nice. She lied, but she was scared, and he understood that.
Yeah. And then we get to the next episode where everybody says it's the best, and I have to repeat, which is the diner scene.
In my opinion, was not my favorite episode.
Really?
It was a good episode, but it's not my favorite. Like, probably good second. There's another episode that kind of broke it.
But yeah, they're in this diner, and it's just a study of John being like, how do people interact with each other when they don't have to lie anymore?
You gotta love this show when a whole full episode, like probably majority of the episode, doesn't even have the main character in it or any of the side characters. Yeah, it's the villain and a couple of people we don't know about.
There's this waitress named Betty who is nice and has nice conversations with the customers, and she tries to help them. Like, you hear that she helps set people up. She helps set up this couple. She thinks they're happy, but they're not. But what can you do? And she's into the chef. And there's this girl who is worried about her. Would you say ex?
Yeah, I would say ex. Yeah, her girlfriend, they had like a dispute.
Yeah.
And she's trying to look for her because she keeps implying that she doesn't deserve her. Something horrible happened. We don't know it until we reach the end.
Yeah.
Or towards the end.
Yeah.
And there's this kid who's applying for a new job who apparently is right next to the boss.
Yeah.
The CEO. Oh, yeah.
CEO and VP. Yeah. And like, you see like John just being like, I wonder how this works. And you hear like Betty tell the chef like, I don't think the girl's lover is meant for her. She's too good for her. And then John tells that girl, and she's like, "Oh, that's how it is."
Right.
And like,
But you gotta just see like John just like not really manipulating, but just telling her, but also using the ruby.
yeah,
Don't you want an honest world? Do you want more, you know, honest and upfront, no more lies?
and with the CEO and VP, like, she's got him on a strict diet, and he wants to do whatever he wants. He wants to live his life how he
Yeah.
wants to, but he can't take that his wife is so controlling, and like he orders like the double decker burger, and she's like, "No, you can't have that. Your diet." He's like, "Right," but like John manipulates the chef, and he's like, "I know what you want," and he brings it
Yeah.
over, and he's like, "I'll take it," and she's like, "No, you won't." He's like, I will. Just let me have what I want."
Yeah, we're going step by step, but like it is such. Oh, you gotta dissect this episode.
Yeah.
You really do. Like this, the girl on the counter, she's also kind of just desperate, calling and texting everybody. But Betty is kind of like, maybe it's a good thing that she doesn't call. And I'm like, this is just again. This episode was so violating
Yeah.
to a degree of like human nature, where we're supposed to not say these things. We can. This is what we see in our heads. Whatever the situation is, this is what our thoughts are. But as common decency tells us, don't say this shit. But that's out of the window in this episode.
Yeah. Eventually, things come to a head when the VP goes in the kitchen, and then the kid is getting his job interview with the CEO, and Betty is with the girl after she found out that the chef is into her.
Isn't into her. He's more of into her son. He's 21. He's 21.
Yeah. But it's still like, there must be a big age gap, though.
I guess it's still consent. It's fine. But at the same time, it's kind of violating for her because she invites
me.
It's kind of like, oh, if my like coworker comes into my house and flirts with my daughter, it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
And it's again, it's very violating, and he just upfront says, "I like fucking your son."
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa.
And then you see like the CEO is having the sex with the kid, and Betty
The sex.
are also having the sex, and so is the VP and the chef, and you see John just to be like, "Excuse me, I'll just take a gallon of ice cream, please."
Right? Don't mind me. You suck that dick.
And then,
But like,
eventually Betty's like, "I don't think this is us. I think it's him." He's like, "All right, if it's not what you want, I'll give you what you truly want. I'll give back the doubts you have or the insecurities you have. Is that the way you want to live honestly? Fine." And beforehand, you find out that Betty's a writer, and then you see her just throw away her hard work into the fire. One by one, these people end each other. Before that, the kid, when the lives were taken away, the VP found the kid, and he starts attacking him. The kid stabs him, and he can't take it, so he ends his life, and the wife ends hers. So the chef, because of blood loss, and after
he cuts up his fingers.
what happened to the girl? The girl cuts her wrist, right?
Yeah, she cuts the tattoo of Donna, which is her girlfriend,
Yeah.
from her wrist, which is where a very vital vein is,
Yeah.
and bleeds out from that.
And
And Donna burns her hands.
yeah. And then
Betty.
Betty, burns her hand, and after that, she gouges her eyes with skewers, and Morpheus is like, "No, they need these things to live. This is what gives them hope. If
Right.
he's away, they have nothing."
It is such an amazing episode to dissect.
Yeah.
It is hard to watch, and I think it's the beauty of it because it is showing us true, pure, unfiltered human nature. And the reasons why, when people are mad about like, hey, why aren't you so more upfront, or why are you kind of like hiding things, or why don't you tell everything that you want to say, or tell a person who they really are? It's common human nature. Out of courtesy, for no chaos, you need these things. This is the outcome if you're so upfront, if there is no filter to your humanity.
And then,
What more a room filled with 5 other people?
right? And then John and Morpheus have a battle for the kingdom because John thinks he's winning. And he's like, at the end, he's like, oh shit, I did win. Because everything's blank. And he's like, wait, this is the hand of Morpheus. Oh fuck.
Right. But Morpheus clearly sees that it wasn't John's fault why he has the amulet. It's because of Ethel. Ethel used to be a mistress for
Roderick.
what's his name again? Roderick Burgess. So this entire thing just fell upon this poor kid and now grew up with a messed up mind and the power that he cannot handle. So it's not entirely his fault. So Dream has a little bit of mercy and puts him on the same kind of fate as the son of Roderick Burgess.
Yeah.
Eternal Sleep.
And then we get, I want to say filler, but it kind of feels like a filler because it's kind of a bridge till the next arc, which is Dream, Morpheus reunites with Death. And you see how that works.
This is my favorite episode.
Oh.
Yeah, you could say that's filler. It had nothing to do with the story. It was just Death contemplating like my journey to get my items because he has the helm, the ruby, and the sand. He had purpose and now he has none.
Yeah.
He had a journey, now it's over. His fun was over. And Death's pretty much just telling him was like, not really, not entirely. You still have a job to do and that could be your journey.
Yeah.
And this was a beautiful scene where you go around London. At the first half, you don't even know the girl was dead. Like, you don't know who this person is. Like, oh, it's just, another acquaintance of Dream, but not.
That's why when she tells the soccer player, like, oh, I'll see you soon. Looking back, we're like, that's what she meant.
Fuck!
Well,
Shit!
You see her job, and first they go to this old guy, and he's like, I'm not ready. No.
Yeah.
Can I say something at first? He's like, alright, you can say something first.
Yeah, he says something in, what was it? Islamic?
No, I would believe Jewish.
Jewish, oh. And he passes away there. Again, at its sweetest moments, this show's still unfiltered. You see other people die of any age. A baby, for fuck's sake, dies here, and she has to take it away. And you see that for Death, sure, you would think that I was like, oh, Death, it's kind of used to this. Death just takes everything away. It's probably one of the hardest jobs in the known universe to comfort somebody and take them away.
Yeah, like the guy who drowned. He's like, wait, all my deals are in my phone. I have to tell my wife. Like, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, like it's our honeymoon. It was supposed to be a start of a new chapter, but it's clearly stopped abruptly.
Yeah, and she tells Morpheus that doing this job, you have to have a kind face. You can't be like, I am dead. I've come for you. Because they'd be like, oh fuck, no please. No.
Yeah, I like how Neil Gaiman wrote Death.
Yeah.
Death is the kindest thing that you'll ever see, and it will be the last thing you see.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is way more comforting than just a skull and crossbones in the hood and a scythe. I'm like, damn.
And then I know people were mad of the casting because the actor is black and that is normally white in the comics. Go figure.
Oh. Wasn't Lucifer a guy in the comics? There are a lot of changes here, so shut the fuck up. They delivered well.
I'm like, it's that though. Why does it matter if it's... What does it matter what color their skin is?
Right? You can take up any fucking form.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah. And I love this. I love the name of the episode, Sound of Her Wings.
Yeah. Because you hear
and I was like...
when she takes them over.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then,
But this is probably 2 episodes in one.
yeah, because going with that, he does get reminded of his old friend that in the 1300s, they went to this pub and this guy's like, I don't want to die. I don't need to
Yeah.
die.
Yeah, my choice feels like, you know what? I've chosen this decision. I'm not gonna die. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
And I really thought this was just a throwaway character.
Same here.
Nah.
Like for someone in the 1300s, that's a bold way. That's a bold thing to say when you have the Black Death around you.
Yeah.
But yeah, that gives him the gift of eternal life, essentially. And this guy goes through the highs of and lows of like 500 years of history.
Yeah. 500 years? 800 years, I think.
800.
800 years.
Like he's at the height
This-
of Tudor society. He's going well, and then he's broke. They accuse me of witchcraft. Do you want to die? No. All right then.
Yeah, that is a fool's game. Fuck that shit. I got so much to live for. I'm like, wow. Because Dream pretty much had a wager with death. We're like, just watch this guy is gonna ask for death within a century. This guy never budged. No matter if his wife and kid died, all of his friends are gone. He went through poverty and riches all in one lifetime.
Yeah.
And he still chooses, hey, I want to go on. And we reached the 18th century, 18th century, where this is the last time we meet. I think it was 1889?
Yeah. Like he
Yeah,
was looking for companies. Like, how
Yeah.
dare you?
He pretty much tells Dream, like, hey, you were pretty much kind of started out as like an experiment just to see if I can break or if I would ask for death. But I think at this point, you keep visiting. And I'm starting to think it needs something else. I think you're looking for a friend. Dream finds that insulting. But within those years, Dream gets captured.
It's like I wish I did have a friend. Go back a bit. Like I do like when they're in the 19th century when he's a captain of a slave ship. He's like, oh, it's a beautiful business. You just pack these people like sardines and off they go. And he's like, I gave you the freedom to live all of your life the way you want it. Find it troublesome that you're denying these people that same choice. I suggest you find another line of work. And he's like, right.
Yeah, I'll consider that, that idea.
Yeah.
That was a very grown-up scene, I
Yeah.
gotta say. Yeah, and like you gotta love how I love that line where it's like, "Hey, that William Shakespeare guy that you ran into, you did no deal with him, huh?" It's like, maybe. What? Like, did he give you his soul? I was like, nothing that crude. I was like, oh.
And then we get to the 20th century in the 80s, and he's just like, I think I've been stood up because I kind of insulted him, I guess, for some weird reason.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't know he's
Yeah.
captured.
But before that though, as he storms off, God, I forgot his name. He tells Dream, "Hey, if you come back in 100 years to the same pub, that means we're friends." He doesn't, and I'm pretty sure that, like, for me, it hurt me.
It's like, I guess we're not.
Yeah. But Dream does come back, and he finds out that the guy bought a pub and built it right next to the one that was being demolished.
Yeah.
And they meet again, and the line that Dream gives where he's like, "I heard it was rude to keep friends waiting," made me cry. That scene made me cry. I was like, oh, it's a good friendship.
And then we get to the next arc where there's this vortex. What a vortex is, it destroys the realms, the walls within dreams and the real world. And it's a person named Rose Walker, and find out that they're not living, her and her brother are not living the best situation. So her mom and her go to another state in Florida, I think. Well, her brother unfortunately had stayed behind because his dad is like, no, I'm not letting him go. And you find out the dad gave him away to another family friend. What kind of friends do you have, bro? Because Jed
Exactly.
ends up being abused, essentially.
Yes, this is a very abusive family where the first time we see Jed, he's running away.
Yeah.
or like him in present time.
Yeah.
He is running away, and he runs into the mom. Even her, she wants to run away.
Yeah. And then you find out how powerful Rose is because she dreams one night and she ends up in Dream's castle. It's like, how did you do this? And even the librarian is like, yeah, how did you do this?
Yeah, they find out that she is the vortex.
Yeah.
Still don't know what a vortex is or what's its purpose. They never explain.
Yeah. You just go along, you're like, I guess it's very dangerous. At the same time, these serial killers are having a convention, and I don't know if it's a Neil Gaiman thing or there used to be a thing like this. I'm afraid to ask.
Yeah, people in America, if y'all know a convention where the world's famous serial killers just meet up, let us know.
It must be a comic thing. Otherwise, the FBI would be like, those are all of our wanted people in one building. What the fuck are we doing here with our dicks hanging out?
Yeah, like, you gotta love it that they all have their alias as their name tag. I was like, not that smart, because, like, what if somebody's, like, reading a newspaper and, like, oh, the Corinthians at it again? And I'm like, he's, like, right across from you.
And then they invite him by doing a copycatting his crimes.
Yeah, so a bunch of, well, more of, like, the organizers were also serial killers.
Yeah.
Trying to copycat Corinthian because he is famous and they need a guest of honor. Since Family Man can't make it, I don't know what Family Man is. Hoping to beat him.
I don't want to know. Like, if he killed everyone, including the entire family, has to go, according to him.
Yeah. And Corinthian has been that character of, like, he's here and there. You see him do his work. The man with, like, teeth for eyes.
Yeah. But they think, like, it's like a mantle. Like, oh, he's the next Corinthian. Like, no, I am the Corinthian.
The Corinthian.
Yeah.
Like 100-plus-year-old nightmare.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Rose is looking for her brother. Find out that her brother dreams of being the Sandman. With one of the other things Dream is looking for. There's gold, and then there's Stephen Fry. I forgot what he calls Stephen Fry, but gold is...
Gilbert.
Gilbert. But you find out that gold is helping poor Giatino cope when outside of reality because he's a kid. And, like, he pretends to be the Sandman, and I don't know if you noticed in the TV stream, one of the foes he had was Captain Cold. I'm like, right, this is the DC property.
Yeah! And I was like, this is why I was like, kind of excited. I was like, I would love to see John Constantine dabble into the world of Sandman.
Yeah.
I need to see that. John Constantine is my favorite thing that's come out of, Warner Bros. Ever since they started making shows.
Yeah, yeah.
And they canceled him.
Yeah, well, rumor has it HBO Max has a new show, so...
Shit!
Yeah.
Suntok ng Demonyo is coming back!
Shit. But yeah, you see how cool Dream is again, because, like, once they find gold with her brother, he's like, alright, that's it. Goodbye. And she's like, wait, I have to find out where he lives.
Right, but, like, I guess, how did she find out where he
lives? Google, because she tells the last name and where they live, and she types it out. Cause
I guess Dream kind of sees it. Like, I was like, oh, okay, that's enough information for you to get.
Yeah, yeah.
And the Dream Map.
And then, meanwhile, there's Rose kept asking this. We call him foster care lady. And she's like, fine, I'll check on them. And she does check on them, but before that, the dad's like to just like, if you embarrass us, make us out to be bad parents, I'm gonna break every bone in your body. And it's a terrifying situation. Like, I don't want to see that.
Yeah, that shit was intense. They're doing the interview.
Yeah.
And he has a note that he wants to give to the foster care lady. And he drops it into her bag. And then she gets back to her office. And you're like, oh, she doesn't see the note. The dad has it. I'm like, oh, fuck. No! Oh, God.
Thankfully, the Corinthian does burst into the room. And this is one of the few times we're like, I hope the Corinthian gets to him first before the dad does.
True.
Yeah.
Because at least with the Corinthian, the kid will last a little bit longer.
And then, again, going back to the coldness of Dream. Dream. One of Rose's friends is reunited with her dead husband in Dream World, and they have a baby, and that's destroying both realities because they're like, that can happen, and that's because of Rose too. So he comes and he kills the husband. He says,
Okay.
huh?
He unalives the husband again.
Yeah. And then he says, that baby was conceived in the dreaming. When it's born, I'm gonna come for it. And of course,
anything that's conceived in the dreaming is considered his property.
Yeah. And then
So
this dream is over, but Rose follows him. It's like, no, you're not gonna hurt my friends. You're not gonna do anything. This dream is over. Like, oh shit, what are you gonna do now, Morpheus?
yeah, but kind of like it when Morpheus is cold.
Really
Like,
not.
yeah, because like you can see that he has rules to abide by.
That's why he
If
kills Gold, because she violated the rules, and she's like, but he was being abused.
Yeah, but there are rules
Hmm.
that he has to abide by, and he has to do these things
Yeah.
for a reason. He has to be cold. He has to be straightforward with it because that's who he is, and it's his role. And I'm like, I get it, but he does have a heart.
Yeah.
We'll get to those later.
And then he also tells the librarian, like, I know you took over when I was gone, but please go back to the library, essentially. And she's like, alright, if that's the way it is. But eventually, he becomes less of a cold-hearted bastard. But yeah, the Corinthian gets to Jed, and you're like, at least make Jed happy. He deserves some happiness, and he does. He treats him well, and then you find out he brings him to the cereal convention. I'm like, oh, man. One guy is named Funland. I'm like, I don't want to know what the modus operandi is.
Like, from everybody there, he was the scariest fucking serial killer for me. Like, being killed by the Corinthians kind of cool, but him is just so creepy and like,
Yeah.
And the guy who played him did an amazing job acting like serial killer.
Yeah. And the way he describes how he does his job, you're like, I'm sick to my stomach.
Yeah, like where do you look for your collection? He's like, oh, sometimes it's hard, but mostly, like, I have a place with a lot of kids.
Yeah.
I'm like, when I have a kid, I ain't bringing them to any parks or like jungle gyms. Nah.
Meanwhile, because Corinthian tells Rose that, hey, I have your brother come to this hotel. She's with Gilbert, and Gilbert's like, what convention is this exactly? He gives her 2 rooms, and then he's like, first one's like, that's odd. Second room's like,
that's weird. And then goes to the third one. That's a problem.
So no, second one is like, us women should be taken more seriously in this field, just as much as our male counterparts. Yeah, we do a fine job of cleaning up the place after killing our victims or something like that. And he's like,
No, he was like, we do the same thing, just exactly like the men. We use our intelligence and our wits and brute force.
yeah.
That's what I was like.
Gilbert just like, oh yeah, more power to Will. What did you say?
Shut up, man. Hold on a second.
He goes to the cult one, and there's like, again, you can dissect a lot from these 3 people. Where one's like, fire and brimstone guy. Well, 2 of them are, and one's like, it's not my job to say who lives and who dies. It's
God's.
I'm just the instrument. You're like, okay.
He tells me to kill people, and that's when Gilbert's like, we gotta get out of here.
He just leaves Rose. I'm like, what was your plan, Gilbert? Like, you know what? She's fine.
No, but like, you kind of gotta give it to Gilbert because if he didn't leave, Dream would have not come in time.
Yeah.
So.
And Corinthians, they're guests of honor, but they have a problem because there's this fake serial killer who's like pretending to be, what's it called? The Boogeyman?
The Boogeyman.
It's like,
that ain't the Baba Yaga.
Yeah. And they lure him to like, what do you call that? I'm supposed to be working in a hotel soon or something like that, but I don't know what you call it. Storage area?
As if I know.
Storage area where they do away with boogeyman, but Jed sees it and he runs panicking straight into Funland. You're like, oh dear God.
Dude, this is a freakier shit because, like, yeah, Funland's like, oh, in my room, it's safe.
Yeah.
Of course, Jed's a kid. He's 12 years old, so he's like, okay, fine. You were nice to me at the beginning. For sure, you're nice now.
Yeah.
And then they run into to Rose.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, fuck.
That's my brother. And the guy,
No. He was like, he thought Rose was the babysitter, the killer.
Yeah.
The babysitter.
Yeah.
He was like, no, this is my friend. I'm like, get your hands off it.
And then they start running, and yeah, he is pretty terrifying. I'm like, God damn it.
Again, props to the actor. Made me very uncomfortable.
Thankfully, the Corinthians there.
Oh god, the Corinthians there.
And then he tells Rose, like, look, a dream is going to kill you. He's not going to let you do what you want because you're too powerful. And she has to ultimately make this choice, and then he is the keynote speaker. He gives a speech like, I'm glad there's so many like you out there, like me. And you're like, God, this is creepy.
Well, just to think that he is the influence.
Yeah.
Since Dream left, he probably was patient zero of the serial killer shit.
Yeah. And then Morpheus arrives and he confronts the Corinthian, and he doesn't have the power to stop him, but like eventually, because Rose is there controlling everything, and then you see in her dreams, like, see what these serial killers do. Like, you see the doctor not upholding her Hippocratic oath. You see the guy using skin as like furniture decoration. It's just like, ugh.
It's just horrible. Like, you see the butcher, you see the doctor, you see the tailor.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is all horrible shit.
Yeah.
But you see Rose has full control of it. Like, you're end of the tree.
Yeah.
She just ends it all as the Corinthian and Dream were having like this tug of war when it came to Rose Walker.
Like, you can trust me. No, you can trust me. It's like, no. I trust myself. I don't trust either of you. End of Dream.
And there's no bullshit with Dream too. It's like, the reasons why I have to kill you is because if I don't, everybody else dies. He doesn't sugarcoat it anyway, which I kind of give respect to this character. It's like, because if he tries to sugarcoat it, the next thing you know, she'll feel betrayed when he has to do the actual deed.
Yeah. And then they're back in reality, and he does kill the Corinthian. He's like, my only regret is that I won't be here when Rose does the same to you. She undoes you. And it turns to the serial killer. She's like, you motherfuckers. You're another like,
I like this.
Yeah.
Dude, okay. I'm gonna be spoiling a little bit of the ending here. There is no big fights. There is no otherworldly fight that you get in this show. But for some reason, I don't know how they did it, and I'm not a writer. They did an amazing job giving us a climactic ending.
Yeah.
Like, this paid off. Like, Dream pretty much gave everybody's, not really a curse, but like, I guess it's a curse.
Yeah, like, you all think you're the victims. Like, you're some high and mighty person doing the world justice. I'm gonna take that all from you. You're gonna feel all the pain of the people you've caused harm to, including the families who are still missing the people you've killed.
All the guilt, all the grief.
Yeah.
They're all feeling that.
Yeah.
All the serial killers in the room, where some would call the police on themselves and confessing their crimes, others just ends it right on the spot.
Yeah.
That shit was such a big payoff.
Yeah.
Like, this is way better than somebody coming in with, you know, a gun and just mowing down these horrible people. Nah.
Yeah.
This felt way more, you know, satisfying.
Like when the Skinner ends and stuff, I'm like, that guy was a sick fuck.
For me, I like, call me a sadist, but like, I like it that some of these people are gonna go home filled with grief and regret.
Or
and it's like,
either call the police on themselves or just end it all.
Yeah. they're never gonna have a peace of mind
Yeah.
for all of time because
Yeah.
of what they've done.
Yeah.
And that felt more satisfying than just shooting one in the head.
Yeah. But Rose is still like, oh shit, I still have Dream to deal with, and they have this, I won't say final confrontation, but before that, her grandma, who was one of the kids who never woke up in the beginning, you find out that she's her grandma, and she's also the Vortex, because
The main vortex.
yeah, because it passed on to Rose, because she was supposed to be the Vortex, but she had a kid, and you're like, at first when she's like, I had a kid when I was asleep, I'm like, oh my god.
Hey, it's horrible. Until we found out, like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
it's I guess consensual dream sex.
Yeah, kind of the same with Rose's friend. I like, alright,
Mm.
right.
Yeah.
But Rose is totally prepared to die, but her grandma takes her place. It's like, no, I am the main Vortex, and she dies, and she's like, oh yeah, I'll never forget the man with golden eyes. And Dreams is like,
Man with golden eyes.
okay,
And we've been getting this reoccurring character named Desire
yeah,
the whole time. Played by Mason Alexander Park. I like that actor.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and he's like, are you there, Desire? Yes, I'm coming through.
What's up?
Yeah. It's like, if
And
you,
Desire reminds me of him from Powerpuff Girls.
right?
This is like a really good character. I want to see more of Desire.
Yeah.
Despair is kind of uncomfortable to look at, but like I guess that's the.
That's how
The-
Desire feels like.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Crocs is the epitome of despair. Sorry, when I was like watching this, I was like, is that corporeal entity wearing Crocs?
You're right. Like, oh wow. That was Despair. Like, if you ever interfere with my affairs, you will regret this. And as he's walking away, Despair's like, oh, I got under your skin, did I? Next time I'll draw blood. You're like, oh shit, I can't wait for season 2 then.
I really can't wait for season 2. And we also see a scene with Lucifer, Morningstar.
Yeah.
Just probably creating an army
Yeah. And then,
with these teeth and eyes
yeah, one of
as
them
a
sounds
wall.
like James Earl Jones. I was like, holy shit, is that it? I didn't figure it out who it was. Just one of them did sound like that. The other one sounded like Clancy Brown. I'm like, I am so confused.
I was gonna say, yeah, Clancy Brown was in.
Yeah.
Also, Luke Skywalker was in this film as well.
Yeah, the pumpkin guy.
Yeah.
The theater like the general's desire action, and Lucifer's like, and I shall act. And her Mortal Kombat minion is like, what will you do? I will do something that will make God livid and bring Morpheus to his knees. And you're like, now I really can't wait for season 2.
I really can't wait for season 2 because shit's about to go down.
Yeah.
And we get this really nice scene of Morpheus just creating new dreams.
Yeah.
He's doing his work finally after hundreds of years and 8 months of not doing his job.
And he also brings back Gold as a new dream. Because he realized, like, oh shit, I fucked up. And Gilbert pointed out, like, he's totally different. Because he apologized to the librarians, like, you were right about Vortex. And I was wrong about Gold too. Fuck.
Right. And like the old Morpheus would have never done that.
Yeah.
So there were changes. And here he has a little bit more of complexion instead of this pale, scary man.
Yeah. And like, yeah, this is such a good show. Like, that's the reason I instantly got a cup, because I'm like, I'm missing out on something really good.
Yeah.
What would you rate this?
Damn. Probably one of the best things that Warner Bros. Has, come out with.
Yeah.
And I really hope it ties into a lot of like DC universes, like Constantine. I really do want to see Constantine in this one, even though we do have a female version.
Yeah. Like, since it is DC based, like, DC characters have interacted with Morpheus before. Like, he has made a recent appearance in one of the Batman comics. So
I would love to see Batman pretty much have a conversation with a person like, or an entity like Morpheus.
yeah.
And yeah, I'm gonna give this one a solid 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Like, it's a near damn perfect show. And to say that Filler was my favorite episode like the sixth episode is my favorite episode, and it had nothing to do with the rest of the story though.
Hmm.
Damn, that was executed well.
Yeah.
Like I gotta give credit to the writers of this story of this show. Some CGI were kind of off from here to there. Okay, but I like it. I love it.
Hmm.
There were no big action sequences. There are no huge wars or explosions. Explosions. Sorry, my tongue got twisted. Or something like that. It's slow. It's methodical. It's nice to see, and it has good payoff. So yeah, it's a solid 9 out of 10 for me.
Yeah. This definitely lives up to the hype. So I'll also give us a 9 out of 10. Just the lore, the characters, and the storytelling is just so excellent. And like, yeah, the CGI is like that could be better, but like, I can live with it. Like, if you can back it up with good characters and a great story, I'll love this. And like,
Yeah.
I hope there better be more seasons because like Netflix paid a very pretty penny for this, and hopefully they will see return of investment. And I hope the fans of the Sandman finally get the adaptation that they've been asking for and dreaming about. Because as you said, there's no big epic battles, and that's why the studios are like, we don't get this. What's this about? Why isn't there no? There's no lasers. It's a superhero. There's no lasers. There's no fights. No, nothing. No, it's all existential stuff.
Yeah. When I say you should watch this with your little brother or cousin or no,
It's a lot.
no, God, no. It is too much for them to take, especially if they're a very young demographic.
Stick my mind. It can only expand so much.
Nah, please. Just know who you're gonna watch it with.
Yeah.
It is a lot to take in, and there are some scenes here that are very hard to watch. So, yeah. But it is a good show. Please, to anyone who loves cinema or shows or comic book adaptations, this is a must-watch.
Yeah. But yeah, that's been our video on the Sandman. What do you guys think? Comment below. And like, what are your other non-DC and Marvel comic properties that you would like to see adapted for Netflix, Amazon, or whatever? Please let us know below, because I would like to pick up some of those recommendations, because I am thirsty for more comics to read.
And now I'm actually, I would love to read more of Neil Gaiman, because I've only read one book, and it was, again, the Graveyard book. Pretty good. You should read it. Not as action-packed as this one, but like, it's nice. It's a good read.
But yeah,
very gothic still.
If you want to see more of us here on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. If you want to see us react to trailers and stream video games and about our lives, we have a Facebook at facebook.com/geeksanddegenerates. If you want to hear us on the road, on the go, we have a Spotify podcast. All links down below, and individually you can find me at JenDolphus995 on IG and Twitter. How about you?
Oh, you can find me at JomJom on Instagram. It is my art account.
And for this video at least, we shall exit light and enter night. Goodbye, everybody.
Ciao.